Hey, I'd like to welcome you to another episode of Mission Matters. My name is Adam Torres, and if you'd like to apply to be a guest on the show, just head on over to missionmatters.com and click on Be Our Guest to apply. All right, so today I have Nicole Perez on the line. She's owner at Origin Hair Studio and also author of one of our upcoming business leader books. Nicole, just want to say, hey, I'm so thrilled to be publishing your work and welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
All right, Nicole. So I'm excited to get into today's topic. So, of course, we'll be talking about the book. We'll also be talking about some of your subject matter, really listening to clientele, what that means and how that can improve your business, which it sounds like an obvious thing, but it's not. Like I had to learn this the hard way, and I'll share some stories about that too. But before we get started and with all of that, we'll start this episode the way that we start them all with our Mission Matters Minute. So, Nicole, we at Mission Matters, we amplify stories for entrepreneurs, executives, and experts. That's our mission. Nicole, what mission matters to you?
My mission is to help people feel as beautiful on the inside as they do on the outside by not only providing a good service, but also feeding their soul and giving back to the community.
That's going on TikTok. That's amazing. And speaking of that, we'll be getting into TikTok as well today. Some of your plans for it and the platform that you're building. But just to get us kicked off, tell me a little bit more about your background. Like, how did you start on this entrepreneurial journey?
Well, I think like anyone else, after being in my career, I just wanted more. I wanted more opportunity, more growth, more freedom. And I figured the only way to expand and connect and to implement growth in your life is to walk past that fear and jump in.
In my mind, like a lot of people will watch this and they're kind of thinking like, they may have an idea, they may have a dream, they may have something that they want to go after, but it's not always easy. Nothing's ever going to be easy. That's worthwhile. But there's a difference here. There's people that maybe are thinking about it, and then there's the people that finally like take that plunge and start their business or start and go after something on their own. What's the kind of some of the advice that you give those that have this idea that they want to make a reality, but maybe aren't quite there yet? What would you tell them?
Read and study and take the leap. The more knowledge you have, the more room you have to grow. It's the more you read, the more you know, right? Mm-hmm. But taking that leap of faith and making sure your finances are organized so you feel secure to move forward.
Any books that maybe made a difference in your life, just in general?
Oh, yeah. The 4 Laws of Financial Prosperity. And then Financial Fitness. I actually have it here. This is... those are 2 really good ones that help you get organized, learn about investment, learning about expanding your money and changing your mindset to help inspire wealth and growth.
It's great. One of my favorites is E-Myth, like for business owners out there. I mean, you probably heard it a million times. I always tell people I heard it a million times too, and I didn't read it. And if I would have read it earlier, it might have saved me $1 million. I mean, that's the way I look at it, because not just in capital, but in opportunity costs, because you don't know what you don't know. And like some of these books, and I love that you bring this up, because some of these books that are out there, like there's knowledge that's already there and ready for you. Or if you don't have the time or the inclination and want to sit down and read the whole book, watch a YouTube video on the book, do something, but get the knowledge, right?
Yes, exactly. That's the way you're going to expand your mind to take the next leap into ownership, into entrepreneurship, investment, all of it.
So speaking of books, thrilled to have you in our upcoming book. For the audience, we're not going to do a deep dive into Nicole's writing or what she'll do today. We're just going to give you a little teaser, and that's intentional because we'll be bringing Nicole back on the show when the book is actually out and live, and we'll do a deep dive at that time. But then as well, we also want you to pick up a copy. So we're going to leave you hanging a little bit here today. But what are some of the ideas that you hope to propose in the new upcoming book, Nicole?
Just about listening and how it can affect your business, your clientele, the outcome. Really, if you don't effectively listen and hear your client, it can really change everything for you. You can lose a lot of business if you're not effectively listening to the end result or the end product that they're desiring.
I want your perspective on this. Like, how do you know if you're a good listener?
I believe that you know you're a good listener when you're absorbing the content, if you're asking the right follow-up questions and the flow of conversation is being reciprocated. So if I'm asking, what do you feel about that? And I'm getting the right context and they're not asking too many abstract questions that are leading you to believe that you're not listening.
And the reason I asked that question is because I feel like individuals that are good listeners, they may know, but if you're not a great listener, sometimes they may be slightly aloof, right? Like you don't necessarily know when somebody's like when you're missing the mark on something, and you might think that there's this communication breakdown or that maybe you're not being understood, but it's maybe there's not enough spaces for the other party to talk or to get their message out.
Exactly. I think also sometimes if you're having a lot of complaints or a lot of disconnect in your business, that's going to be a big sign for you. If you're losing a lot of customers or clientele, that's a major one, then that's a disconnect for sure.
How do you implement that? Like on a day-to-day, like how do you make sure that you're actively listening?
I actually always start my day with meditation, and it helps me kind of get in the right headspace. That way I feel open to receive. I think that's a big part of it. We're so busy in our day-to-day life, but also I think that I open up the floor for my clients. It's a little bit different because I do hair. So I'm literally right behind them all day long, studying their faces and listening to their words come out. So for me, all I do is listen. So I've kind of perfected the art.
And I think in all of us, especially now that there's just so much done over Zoom and things like that, I would argue that all of us have that same opportunity, maybe that you've been able to perfect over time. So in the past, I can tell you just being on, all these Zoom calls over the last couple of years, right? Like many of us have been, it's just such an intimate experience where you're looking at somebody directly in the face pretty close up, right? On a Zoom call or something else, so that we've all kind of had this maybe shift in perception and how we communicate.
It is. That's a great word, intimacy. That's what really cracks the egg, so to speak, is how intimate you are in the conversation, like planting those little seeds. It's a great tool because on business, we're on these platforms, we're on social media doing lives, trying to reach our clientele, we're promoting our books, we're on face-to-face in consultation and real estate investment. We're doing all of our meetings like this. It's such an important tool so you don't miss the mark and lose a potential client, a potential investment.
And one of the things that I like about yourself and your platform and what you're building is that you also take your own advice. So when I asked you, like what should people be doing? You said they should be reading, they should be studying, they should be learning. So I was surprised when I asked you how you got involved with TikTok or where that started, which for everybody watching, definitely check out Nicole's TikTok page and we'll leave all that information at the end. But I was surprised for you to tell me that you took a course on it. Like, can you tell me a little bit more about that? Because I was like, oh, it matches. I love when somebody says something and it also matches that they take their own advice. Very few people, I would argue, started off on TikTok or got more involved with it based on taking a course. So I think it's awesome, number one. But how did that come about?
Well, just being exposed to the platform really got me excited. I started to notice the algorithm and I was like, whoa, this is like an unhacked gold mine right here. I was like, what can I learn? And I started just kind of studying the app, studying the algorithm. And then a course popped up and I started reading a couple of courses thinking, wow, how can I jump into this? How can I utilize this for my own business, for my own message, for my own benefit, really? The course just kind of exploded my mind onto the possibility for TikTok and what it can bring to your business, what it can bring new potential clients, billions of people at your fingertips.
I want you to help me dispel this myth, and we'll probably be trying to dispel this myth for years to come. But TikTok is not just about like dancing and short videos and dancing. Like if that's what you want to do, by the way, there is an entertainment component. Obviously that's fun, right? But there's so much more. Can you tell me a little bit more about what your experience has been as a business owner?
Well, one, you can sell any product. You can monetize TikTok completely. You can create a website that can directly connect and put you in front of your clients due to the algorithm. So the algorithm has a specialty where it'll just say spirituality, right? You are selling holistic products. You're selling a self-help book. The algorithm is going to navigate right to your direct client, put it in front of their face. And when they click on your page, there's your product and there's a link and you can attach it right to the page. And billions of people are on this app daily, and it's feeding it right like a funnel directly to these people. You can easily make 6 figures off of TikTok, very easily.
What are some of your plans for the future, and what you can say? I know you have some other things you're developing and you're going to be launching, but what you can tell me, what are some of your plans for the platform?
For the platform is to, obviously, I want people to know that what I do, but really I want to spread the message of healing and self-love and spirituality. I really think that we're in a precipice of a change in the world. And not only do I want to integrate knowledge and education with that, but also a way to develop ourselves, and how looking within and healing and reading and expanding our mind can really help change your life and affect the course of everything, really, and help people navigate and do this for themselves.
And one of the things that you mentioned was business and spirituality. I feel like one of the things that I like about your content is that you do mix the two. I mean, at some point, I feel like a lot of, in society, this has been kind of like siloed, like there's one or the other, or one place you can talk about one place you can talk about another, but you mix it and it's just part of you. It's your brand. It's who you are. Can you tell us a little bit more about how you do that?
For me, with spirituality, like you said, it is who I am. It's in my essence. I came into this journey by accident, really. When I did, it expanded my whole world. So for me, it's just like a little sprinkle on there of the truth of my reality and how it's helped heal me and expand my mind and expand my business. I've met so many people through spirituality and connected to so many business connections, introducing Reiki, which is something that I'm going to be doing into my business personally. And it's just like, it really has created an expansiveness on TikTok. I really, really like the idea that you can be so authentic in who you are, and you're accepted, and your people will find you.
And I like that you say this, because I think when people hear this and hear this message, like for those that are supposed to, it's almost like giving people permission, right, to be themselves. And whether it's TikTok, your business, your website, other things, like one of the things that I like to, tell people is that I feel like in business, we're evolving. It's like one of the benefits of the pandemic, not saying that, it's a good thing what happened, but one of the benefits is that like a lot of these things that were kind of like stigmas, or we could do, or only do things here or there. Like once we were all on Zoom calls, once we were all in this collective condition, which we always are in this collective condition anyway, we just don't always realize it, right? We think we're separated, but we're not. But once that happened, it kind of like humanized us all. It humanized the world. Like, okay, people have kids, people have families, people have their own things. And maybe we're all going through this human condition and different path, and what seems like different paths, but like we're all connected there. So just giving people permission to be themselves is just one of these like unforeseen benefits. And that's one of the things that I do like about TikTok, is it's a little bit more of, it doesn't have to be like a LinkedIn platform where I have to be suit and tie. Like I can wear a t-shirt, I do my little daily vlog and I have fun too doing it. Not saying I don't have fun with the suit and tie, but it just allows us to be more human, in my opinion.
It does. I agree. It's the human aspect. It's personalizing business and integrating them together and letting people know that people like you, people like me, or even, the billionaires of the world, they're all just like us. So it brings you a little bit closer into the reality of what is.
I do want to take some time and spend some time a little bit more on talking about your business. So Origin Hair Studio, tell us a little bit more about your salon.
Well, right now we do just hair and men and women, barber and hairdresser, but we are going to be expanding into the holistic because I'm trying to integrate the two. So I'm going to be expanding into Reiki and other kind of services that add the energy healing kind of holistic side to it. But really, I've been doing hair for 19 years. It's my passion. I love it. But really my true passion is people. I love connecting and making relationships. And my business has kind of become like family with my clients. It's family.
It's amazing. And so as you kind of grow and evolve your business, so there's a lot of changes there. You're now, when you bring in some of the holistic healing and things like that, like how do you manage that? Because in any business, whether it's your business, whether it's a media company like ours, regardless, like when you're managing change or you're introducing new things, it's not always easy. How are you managing that change?
Utilizing all 24 hours of the day.
Okay, so you don't sleep. Okay, great. Number one, go ahead.
You have to really plan and be organized, and you have to get a little uncomfortable to get comfortable, right? So you have to plan. Financial planning is really a big aspect. Making the right relationships with the right people, navigating that, and then also taking the risk. It's just like when you start a business, expanding is another risk. It's another expansion of the initial risk that you took. But if you want growth, you have to get uncomfortable and you have to make it habitual. The habit to growth has to be habit.
And getting uncomfortable with that change and just understanding it's part of the entrepreneurial journey. So I like to joke and say, but it's not a joke really, is that if people watch my show consistently, then what they're going to come away with is being an entrepreneur is very difficult. Most people I say, like I've probably asked this question 100 times throughout the years and say like, what would you tell people about being an entrepreneur? And they'd say, don't do it. It's hard, or don't, like all the other things. There's always something that comes out. I feel like maybe it's been glamorized in the media, but it's hard. It's hard. It's hard to come up with an idea. It's hard to execute every day. It's hard, especially if you're a founder of a company or a co-founder of a company. It's hard to make sure that you're delivering for all the people in the families that depend on you, right? Employees, to maintain that culture and to make sure that you're coming through for others, right?
Exactly. That's the big foundation right there. It is difficult. There are a lot of hard decisions. It's a lot of continuous work. But for me, it feels like freedom. You create your own freedom, and that there isn't a price on that. Mm-hmm. So the more people that you can inspire to take this journey, is it hard? Yeah, it's hard, but is it worth it? Most definitely. It offers you so many doors to navigate through.
Completely agree. Well, Nicole, I just have to say it's been great having you on the show today and learning more about your background and really your vision. And of course, I can't wait to have you back on the show once the book's actually live and out, and we'll have a whole lot more to talk about. But for today, what's next? I mean, what's next for you? What's next for Origin Hair Studio?
Well, I think we did touch on that a little bit. For me, it's to really integrate the holistic, to expand that. I definitely want to integrate it all into TikTok and create maybe some more speaking opportunities to kind of this expansive self-help, kind of like self-healing change that the whole world kind of seems to be going through, and help people navigate the new chapter we're all stepping into together to kind of help influence the world. We need more positive change. We need more positive missions. We need more positive influence in business, in entrepreneurship, especially.
And if somebody's watching this and they want to follow up and learn more and to connect with you on your journey, I mean, what's the best way for people to reach out?
You can email me, Nicole Perez at origin.net, or you can follow me on TikTok. Honestly, that's probably...
I was going to say, you better say follow you on TikTok and your handle.
Yes, that is Nicole Perez 7777.
Fantastic. And we'll put all that information into the show notes so that if you're watching this, you can just click on the links and head right on over. And don't forget to follow Nicole on TikTok. And you'll definitely be on my TikTok on my daily vlog tomorrow, Nicole. So excited to have you on there. And speaking of the audience, if this is your first time with Mission Matters or engaging with the platform or listening to an episode, we're all about bringing on business owners, entrepreneurs, and executives and having them share their mission, the reasons behind their mission, how they do what they do, what they're doing, and really what we can all learn and gain and how we can grow from that information. If that's the type of content that sounds interesting or fun or engaging to you, hit that subscribe button, because we have many more mission-based individuals coming up on the line and we don't want you to miss a thing. And Nicole, awesome working with you today, and can't wait till the next time we get to work together.
Thank you so much, Adam.